What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, Phil Spencer just did an interview with The Verge's Decoder podcast. I never heard of the podcast, but whatever. I don't listen to The Verge podcast anyway. But the point is, he did an interview with them. And he was asked once again about the Call of Duty, Activision, Blizzard King acquisition, blah, blah, blah. And without stuttering, without being straight up said Call of Duty will be on we want it to be on PlayStation natively, not like, oh, you gotta have Game Pass in order to call, you gotta sign up for Xbox Live, none of that. Just Call of Duty how it's been on PlayStation natively. You buy it, it's on PlayStation, no Xbox ties. The only thing that you'll have to deal with is Xbox, I guess an Xbox logo in front of it, maybe. I don't know if that's even something that they would do, but it doesn't matter because we know who owns it, right? But of course, the pony's ducky in the car is going to find something, whatever. And Phil Spencer basically said, we want a long-term, they want to create a long-term or put out there a long-term commitment, a long-term contract deal, whatever, with Sony. This is on Sony. This is in Sony's. It's Sony's ball right now. What you gonna do, Sony? Because they're saying all the things that you want, but you gotta listen to the words, right? So Phil Spencer said, natively on PlayStation, right? Right. So that means $70 Call of Duty on PlayStation. Now, what Sony wants, what PlayStation wants, what Jim Ryan wants is they want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to be able to put Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus day one if Microsoft does the same. Here's the thing. Sony doesn't want to do that. Sony doesn't want to do that for their games or for any games, for the most part, for especially a Call of Duty game that makes them all this money, right? So they don't want to do that, but they have no choice if Microsoft does it. If Microsoft puts Call of Duty into Game Pass day one, and Sony, PlayStation, you have to buy it for $70 day one. That's the only way you can get it. That's not good enough. That's inadequate in Sony's eyes. But that's how their business model. That's their business model. That's not. You can't blame Xbox because you are doing things inadequately, because your business model is broken, opposed to what's going on in the world. You have to adjust. You have to conform. You have to adapt. Is the right word. They're not adapting. They're trying to keep the industry in this lane, and it's going this way. And this way is getting success. This way is successful. It's proven. But this way is, there's success here. And I'm going to be real. The fact that Microsoft will buy Call of Duty and it's going to be an Xbox-owned property will cause people to move over. Also, what will happen is Sony, PlayStation, they're not getting these exclusive skins, exclusive maps, exclusive anything anymore. That would be asinine. That would be like, we own it, but you're still gonna get exclusive stuff. Like, no. Because Xbox wouldn't be like, you can pay us to get exclusive stuff only on PlayStation when we own that. How does that work? No, that's not gonna happen. And see, these things that will happen ultimately and automatically because of the ownership change, Sony doesn't want. They want to have control without actually having to buy it because they can't afford it. They want to have all the exclusive stuff. They want to pay for that stuff, but they're not going to be able to pay for it anymore because it's not going to be offered to them anymore. And so their only remedy for this whole situation, once Microsoft buys them, is their ability to offer it on PlayStation Plus, which they have to pay for. They have to pay extra to Microsoft in order for them to put it on PlayStation Plus, because it's sales that Microsoft is losing. So Sony has to pay Microsoft This is funny. They have to pay Microsoft to put Call of Duty day one on PlayStation Plus. Will that spawn more? I don't know. Subs for PlayStation Plus? Maybe, but will the cost offset what they have to pay Microsoft for? I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, in the long term, sure. But, they have numbers that they say, well, we need these many more subs in order to offset the cost that we have to pay Microsoft in order to put it in PlayStation Plus. All this math, and then it seems like a hassle. Just thinking about it seems like a hassle. So, this is hilarious to me. And Sony has really no legs to stand on except for the inside people at the CMA, and they're so concerned. We need us about the competition of these streaming services and stuff, and it's like, okay, one's better than the other. What about it? It's like you're on the side of the losing team when it comes to streaming services, and you're trying to be on their side, be in their corner. So you have to. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like I can't even like intelligently put it into words because it doesn't seem like it's real. Because mainly because in my mind I still believe in fair and just government officials and bodies and stuff. But as you get older, you figure, that's wishful thinking. That's naivete, whatever it is. So, bottom line, CMA is they're in it for one, their own interests, UK, and they're also in it for Jim Ryan because, like I said, there has to be a connection. There has to be some sort of not inside gaming or insider knowledge, but it's just he knows some people, and in this world, it's who you know, basically. So he knows some people. That's what whether there's money exchanged or whatever, doesn't matter. They're doing their job to make this difficult for Microsoft, and that's fine. But bottom line is, like, I don't see how they can block it. And once again, if they do block it, Microsoft, if they got lawyers, it's going to get ugly. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is Phil Spencer said it, and how he said it is funny because it still doesn't exclude the Call of Duty on Game Pass day one and PlayStation having to pay $70. And that, like I said before in videos before, that is the winning strategy that Microsoft has set in place. The foundation is there. It's there. All they need to do is own it, and they can make it happen. All these other games that are multi-platform that happen to be day one on Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass or Game Pass in general, and you have to buy it on PlayStation, that's a W for Xbox, that's an L for PlayStation, period. Doesn't matter the title, that's what it is. And since they're doing multi-platform with Call of Duty, once they get it, it's the same difference, except Microsoft will get all of the money, even from PlayStation. As successful as it is on PlayStation, if it sells more copies on PlayStation, it's actually better that they have to buy it $70 on PlayStation because that makes Microsoft more money. So every way you look at this, Sony loses. The only way that they cannot lose is if they actually bought it themselves. But that's not going to happen, right? So, that's kind of how it's going down. And you're looking at the other games as far as Game of the Year stuff just came out, right? I guess it's the Game Awards, whatever. And Sony got 20 nominees, right? Microsoft wasn't even on the list. They got 0. And so everything that's happening within the industry pertaining to Sony and their success, their perceived success and their actual success that we see every day, the things that they're doing every day is antithetical to their arguments of this merger. And, it's like I'm just a regular Joe Schmo, And I see it, and I'm like, how can you even say things that you're saying when you're getting 20 nominees for Game of the Year, you're getting this, you got exclusive stuff on Call of Duty right now, the one that just came out, you're getting exclusive stuff. It's so funny. So yeah, this is just something that we have to wait for. It's not semantics, but I mean, kind of is semantics, but it's more of it's a necessary evil when it comes to these corporations doing this stuff. But it's all good. But shout out to Destin Legary. He did a video on it, and Hogue Law. He's done many videos about the legality and aspects of this merger and how Sony is being hypocritical. And I think if you really want to know about the nitty gritty and the details about this stuff, definitely listen to Hogue Law's podcast and his shows. Not his, I don't know if he has a podcast. He probably does, but his videos on YouTube. It's definitely insightful, and and he's a lawyer, but he doesn't speak legalese. He's a regular guy who speaks clearly and intelligently. He's a smart guy, and he's good to listen to when you have all this noise from the ponies, donkey unicorns, bots, and all that stuff, and you can listen to a person who, maybe he is leaning towards, or maybe likes Xbox. I'm not actually sure, but I know that he, as a lawyer, is stating the facts when it comes to law, and he breaks it down. He's like, okay, this is how this works in the law. This is how this works. This is how it's supposed to happen. And yeah, and he was really, I bring him up because he was talking about that guy Carlos Cordola. I forgot his name. The dude who was he wasn't CMA, but he said my PlayStation, blah blah blah. I didn't do a video about that because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But a lot of people, including Destin, kind of took it that way, and I didn't take it that way. I think he was just saying my PlayStation, because he had one, and people I think they blew that up a little bit too much than what it really was. That being said, he was the spokesperson for the CMA, basically, back in the day in 2019, and now he's not. He's doing something else now within the governmental regulatory body. So it's weird, but definitely go check out his videos, Hogue Law, and yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out and stuff. Go in the comments. Let me know. Is this it? Is this gonna be Is Phil Spencer? I mean, Phil Spencer is doing his Thug Dizzle, going out there talking. Is this enough to prove to the CMA that this is going to be good for Sony? So don't worry. Is it that, or is there something else going on, or what do you guys think? Is Uncle Phil still holding some cards in his sleeve or something? Let me know. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll check you on the next one. Till the way.